Have you been feeling left behind, like you're not doing this content creation and thought leadership thing properly because you're seeing your favorite influencers, authors, all those people, they come correct. All their social media platforms are on point and they are consistent, well polished, their pictures on point, everything is happening, and you're wondering, why can't I be this way? You want to know the truth? They are not writing it themselves. Yes. Yes, they are not writing all of those things themselves. They're not putting it up themselves. They're not managing their pages themselves. That's the truth. And see, that's not a bad thing. Do you know why? Because it's an opportunity for you. Yes, one of the biggest things in the creators economy is that we live in an age where there's so much money to pick up. There's so much. You don't have to write by yourself. Now, let me tell you, that is why I think that ghostwriting is the most underrated, most unspoken, and the most profitable spice in the creators economy. And I'm going to prove it to you in this video. And I'll tell you how you need to hop in case you've not been on this vibe, okay? I have worked in the trenches of ghostwriting since about 2013. I've done it all from book ghostwriting to social media content ghostwriting to blog content ghostwriting to thought leadership ghostwriting. And I've seen behind the scenes. The things I've seen behind the scenes will change how you think about your writing skills. Guys, see, the creators economy is booming and creators need writers. Yes, they need writers. If you're an editor, better still, because they feel like they get two with the price of one. Yes, being an editor gives you even more leverage. You're not just a writer, you write and you have an eye for errors. Oh my gosh, so much is out there for you. Okay, now here's the thing. Today's top creators that they are not just influencers. Let me tell you, they are also podcasters. Have you noticed? They are also newsletter writers. They are also course creators. They are also book authors. They are also social media managers of their own. They are also public speakers. They are very overwhelmed business owners. Yeah, that's why you used to wonder, why don't they respond to their DMs? No, they can't. One person can't do all that. They are people designated for those things. They are sitting on content ideas all the time, sitting on their true life stories. They are sitting on frameworks, different stories, but they don't have the time. They don't have the skill. They don't have the energy to write all of these things. Podcast, course, newsletter. How? It's not possible now. And that's where a lot of people are cashing in on. Haven't you also noticed that almost everybody who is a public speaker now has a social media person who takes pictures and videos of them as they are going about the activities and events? That's what I want you to get. This is a high paying industry right now. Right now, that's where ghostwriters come in. What we do for people like that, we help them turn their chaos into clarity, right? We'll help them tell, okay, this is what the public should have. This one you should be told it back on the public. This is a good story. Even though you think you're shy about it and you have a background, no, this would actually reinforce people's trust and credibility about your brand. All of those, we do that all behind the scenes, right? So we turn their chaos into clarity. We help them also turn their voice into real value. They're not just babbling or babbling. They are not just babbling. People listen to them. There's a craft to why people follow certain people who have million followers. Okay, they also, or rather, ghostwriters also help them tell their story and use it as a strategy, not just sharing empty stories. Okay, now unlike social media jobs that come and go, sometimes you don't know what else to do. Ghostwriting is so foundational. Everybody needs someone to help them write. I don't even want to get into the places and the kind of things I've written or I have managed for top-notch institutions because I'm a ghostwriter or I run a ghostwriting agency, right? It's part of the brand, the thought leadership, the product, everything about people and what they need is foundational to ghostwriting. Why I think that ghostwriting is underrated is because it's so powerful, it's so profitable, it's so cool. And for me, it's a game changer because with ghostwriting, you get paid like an expert. Nobody's paying you like hourly, no. They know that this is like a project that will take at least 3 months, 4 months. So people come ready. Like they come ready to broker the deal. They don't come with you with 5,000 naira, $10. No. Ghostwriting, people treat you like an actual expert when you are a ghostwriter, right? Anywhere from $3,000 to about $20,000 and even more. People get paid for a single project. Yes, for a single project. Also, ghostwriters build high level networks because people who have to come correct with money to broker deals that are in thousands of dollars, they are not your regular Joe on the street. You get what I mean? They are CEOs, they are leaders, they are people who are top achievers. So naturally, you get into boardrooms, into places that if you weren't a ghostwriter, you may not have had access, right? Again, remember, just being a freelancer may not get you into the rooms where being a ghostwriter will get you into. Okay? Another reason why I think that ghostwriting is so powerful, it helps you shape influence, how people influence other people. Ah, see, being a ghost is profitable, though. I'm telling you, like your words that you're going to pen down, you're going to type, helps brands grow, helps people drive ideologies. Do you know what that means? That you're the powerful force behind a brand, behind a personality, behind an ideology. Oh my gosh. Being a ghostwriter also helps you stay behind the scenes, of course. I mean, you can't say, oh, I ghostwrote this book. No, you can't. So it helps you stay away from trolls. Nobody gonna troll you and say, "Oh, you're doing this and that." Are they your mates? No, they don't even know who is behind this XY. But they don't. So it makes them confused about your source of income. So they're wondering, he doesn't really leave home. So how does he buy all this, luxury cars? So no trolling. Nobody will troll you. No fame. Yeah. So and again, you have all the income to keep. Yeah. Also, ghostwriting helps you repurpose the things you've done for later. Now, if you ghostwrite a book, for instance, you can turn that your client work into a framework. Like what I mentioned before, you can tell people how step by step how they can achieve that for themselves. You can create templates of how you succeeded in doing that. You can even create products. Yes. So you have it's a win-win all the way. Now, let's be honest. Some of the biggest best-selling books you hear about are written by people like you and I. Yes, most of the authors, most of the books you read, they are not written by the actual author. Yes. Now, I came across Write Book Associates. They are a publishing company in the West. Write Book Associate even recorded it that about 50% of successful authors in non-fiction genre did not write their books themselves. And about 10% of fiction authors also did not write their books by themselves. When I saw that statistic, I was like, I just smiled a knowing smile because, yes, I know. Most successful authors have used ghostwriters to help them with their writing project. You have a story, you have something you've done, you have something that will help people. Your inability, the fact that you don't have time or you don't have the writing skills shouldn't stop that message from getting to the world. I mean, it's a disservice. Yeah, so the role of a ghostwriter is so important. Now, the right book associate people also mention that, of course, ghostwriting is lucrative, and they also mention that famous authors who use ghostwriters are willing to pay top dollar for it. I already told you, but they even mentioned something that hit me. They said up to $100,000. Some ghostwriters are paid up to $100,000. I didn't say this now because I was giving you the figures according to what we get paid in my company. We are quite affordable. But they said ghostwriter can be paid up to $100,000. Yeah. So and I said, okay. And they even gave me some names of people some famous authors who have used ghostwriters like James Patterson, like Tom Clancy, Daniel Steele, and so many other African authors as well that you don't even know that they do. Like some people that my company have written for instance. Now that's for books. So I'm talking about books. Currently, I'm ghostwriting social media posts for a Pan-African brand, right? And so, what are you talking about? Ghostwriters are so powerful. They help power personal brands, they help power thought leadership brands, they help power digital products you see, while building profitable, quiet empires of their own. Yes. So why should you be a ghostwriter? How can you start? If that's your question, then hold on. I'm going to share all of that with you. How I started ghostwriting was I didn't set out in 2013 to start ghostwriting. I remember that I had done a few books for a few people, and some people already knew that I had done not done I didn't write the books. I mean, I have published books for people. Some of them were people that had some scribbled, we brought them together, added more words, structured it and published. In 2013, a powerful man in Nigeria called me up and said, I'm launching 3 books in about 6 weeks. Yeah. He usually has this program he does every beginning of the year, and that was ending of the year of the old year. And he said, I'm supposed to publish 3 books. The content for 2 are ready, but 1 is not ready, and that's where you come in. I said, with all pleasure. Of course, I am not one to wonder if I can do something I know how to do. Of course, I said yes. And then we talked about the contract, the money and everything, the paperwork, and I got to work. I remember that work was on altruism, and I delivered that content. That book was published, and the 3 books like he wanted were published and launched. It was a January event, I remember, in Abuja, in Nigeria. And that was how I felt, okay, this ghostwriting pays more, even though thinking about it now, I actually undercharged. Yes, but anyway, first time starters, okay. So that was why I said, okay, this is a good idea. Before that time, the only ghostwriting I had done was providing website content. I'm not sure I had done social media content for anyone. I was writing on my blog. Then I had written website content for someone, and that was also another money that shocked me, because I earned more writing website content than I earned editing books at that time. Earlier in before 2013. So it was a good opportunity. So my eyes started opening as demands came, right? Now, but if you are hearing me today and you're thinking, oh, I think this is something I need to do, what do you need to do? Number one, make sure first of all that you're a strong writer, somebody who loves shaping someone else's voice, because it's one thing to be a strong writer, it's another thing to know how to use someone else's voice and make it even better without overshadowing their voice. Some people take other people's words, then they try to make it theirs. No, that's not what ghostwriting is about. So you should be able to take other people's words and amplify it and make it even better. Also, if you're somebody who is tired of all these short-term freelance gigs, you get a job today and you don't get another one in 3 months, you can't keep living like that. If you're tired of it, then, we're in business, okay? The third thing I think you should consider first if you want to be a ghostwriter is that you need to understand that ghostwriting is deep work. It's not wishy-washy. It's not something you do. You have to, there are a lot of dimensions to it, right? Especially if you're ghostwriting books. It's a lot of deep work and storytelling and psychology. You have to understand your clients beyond their facade, their superficial facade. You need to understand what they're not even saying. You need to understand their heartbeat. You need to understand the why behind the why of why they're writing the book, if you get what I mean. Also, you need to be business smart. If you want to be a ghostwriter, you have to be business smart. You're not the kind of person that they will ask, so how much do you charge for a project? And you'll be dilly-dallying about your fees, or you're not sure of what you're charging for or the value that you're bringing. No, you can't be that kind of person. So these are things you need to consider. I think one more thing, also you have to be sure that you want to work with high-level clients. You're not going to be working with just ordinary people. So you need to also know how to carry yourself, how to sell yourself, and earn their trust, because ghostwriting is also about trust. If your client doesn't trust you, even if you just had the first meeting and he really wanted to do it or she wanted to do it, it's possible for them not to get back to you again. That's why you hear people, who want to ghostwrite and then they are being ghosted. Because it takes just one meeting for them to make up their mind whether they really want to work with you, right? For some people, it's their aura. For some people, it might be their presentation. Some people, it might just be their habit, and the person is put off and doesn't want to go ahead with the project. So you have to be ready to work with people in a meaningful way. Now, let's go to how to start now. How do you start your ghostwriting business? Number one, decide on a particular subject matter that you want to focus on. or let me say industry. Because why this is important at first is that if you help you attract clients faster, if somebody just say, oh, I heard you're a writer, oh, can you help me write this? And then brings out a subject matter or industry that you're not quite familiar with, and you know you're going to struggle, and then because of the money you take it and you do a bad job, you're not ever going to get a client anymore. And I don't want that for you. So you already know, as a writer, you already know the areas that you're excited about, the kind of books you like to read, the kind of industry that you've understood, this lingua, the register, you are very, attuned to, right? For some people, it's business. For some people, it's academics. For some people, it might be medical. For some people, it might be law. Some people, it might just be a combination of all, but maybe non-fiction. They are best in non-fiction writing. Some people might be fiction, so they like to work with imaginations, create characters. You have to know where your superpowers lie. This is very important so that you pitch yourself according to what you can do from the day one, right? And also decide in this niching, decide whether you want to work for people with their books, or you just want to help them create social media content, or help them do newsletter or email list posts. Decide the kind of content you want to do. Whether it's even website content you want to provide. You know why niching is so powerful? It helps you know who to pitch your business to. For instance, if you want to write website content, that makes you a copywriter, right? You start looking for people who build website developers, right? Who are always being delayed by a client to send in their content so they can fill it up. That's where you come in. You sit down with the clients and help them fine tune and get all the information they need to put on the website, right? So you have to be very niche based so that you can attract your clients faster. If not, you're going to be saying I'm a ghostwriter for a whole year and you might not get a gig, right? The second thing you need to do, apart from deciding on your niche, is build a simple portfolio, something they can see. That's the first thing the client is going to ask you for. Like, what have you done before? Can I see what you've done, right? So you have to have at least 2 or 3 samples of the work you've written. Yeah, whether you wrote them or whether you did it for someone or you just wrote them by yourself, so that they can have a feel of the kind of thing you've written. You have to write. If people have to see. Yeah, I'm not saying that people may not hire you if you don't have, but it's very good. It's a good to have in your portfolio. In fact, that makes up the bulk of your portfolio, the things you have done, right? So that people can see. If it's people's account you've managed on social media, let them know the account you have managed, when you started, when you stopped. It makes things very easy for them to take decisions. Also, the third thing, of course, you start pitching the value that you bring to the people that you are trying to write for. Yeah, so you're not just writing, you have to learn the marketing of this thing you have chosen to do. I hear a lot of creatives who say, oh, I don't really like marketing, I'm very shy. Yeah, you're not serious, you're not ready for business. Yeah, you're not ready for business. And see, people who want to hire ghostwriters are high network people, and there's a way to get to them. So you have to not just learn how to market, you have to learn how to work with such people. People who are always busy, people who are always on the go. So you have to have a high level of value to pitch, and understand that you're not just writing, you're managing their emotion, you're managing their time with them, you're managing their stories. Yeah. The next thing you need to understand, you need to focus on the relationships you're going to build, because your relationship with how you relate with that client will tell on the result you're going to help them provide. Let me even tell you, in the course of ghostwriting people's work, like I mentioned before, you'll find out a lot more about them, family, and all that. I mean, remember you were a stranger before you guys got acquainted, but because you're going to write for them, you might get to know their family, certain things that they don't want to share with anybody, certain things they have never even shared with anybody. Yeah, so you need to make sure that you're somebody who is not a basket mouth, right? You need to make sure that they can trust you with information. All right. So now you know ghostwriting is a hidden force behind the creators economy, right? Most of the people you're seeing every time the content is popping, their carousels are on point. They are not doing it by themselves, and you have a lot of money to pick if you decide to pick this type of service. Also, if you're a skilled writer, this might just be your ticket to building an income stream that you can leverage on, that you can feel grateful for, that gives you depth, that helps your creativity, that also deals with high trust, right? Do you want to build a ghostwriting business like I do? You can grab my free guide. I have it also in the description box and also in the pin comments right below. It's called how to build a ghostwriting income stream. Please go download and get this. It's the same thing I'm saying in this video in a more structured way so that you can follow through. Because this year we are acting on the things that we are doing. We are not watching videos and doing nothing. Okay, so if you've ever considered ghostwriting, let me know in the comment section. Have you started? Why haven't you started? What have you been waiting for? Or have you been doing it secretly? Civil servant. If you're a secret agent ghostwriter, let me know in the comment section. Raise your hand up in the comment section. All right, so make sure you're subscribing to this channel, like, and I'll see you in another video. Remember, the world needs your words, even if your face or your name is not on the cover. Yes, the world needs your words. So go out there and make a kill. I'll see you again in another video. Cheers.